Alrighty. Not bad, not bad. It's definitely not exactly what I expected to draw. Now this image here, I found online. Let me see. It was a little girl who found a dead monarch butterfly and was able to touch the wings. She had picked it up and touched it, and I thought, oh my gosh, what a cute pose. So I used that. And I love using source images and then manipulating them the way that, you know, would be interesting to look at. Let me try something. I haven't used yellow, I don't think, as a base yet. So I'm wondering if I want to use like maybe a yellowish tone and brown. Let me see. Let me play with this a little bit. I guess I can kind of get away with it. Let's see. Let me find all my markers here. Okay, I got my, I'm using a white painter's marker, and I'm going to use that around where the highlights would be. I'm going to use a little bit of yellow. No, not yellow. I'm not going to use yellow. I'm going to use one of my other flesh tone markers. Let's see. Hopefully this one isn't dried out. This is a Zig fabric marker. It's flesh tone. And let me see. Let me go ahead and start using this. Hopefully this one isn't the dried out one. Looks good so far. Yes, this is good. So I'm going to lay this down as kind of like a base tone. And then I'll probably end up using one of my browns for shadows. And I'm using the edge of this marker, this Zig fabric marker. I love how this shirt is shaping up. There's a lot of images here that I did not anticipate, and it really challenged me to bring out my creativity. So if you get a chance to take advantage of the Inktober, definitely do it. You don't have to do the entire month. There's challenges where you could just do half the month. It's just that if you're interested in doing drawing on a regular basis, if you want to develop drawing habits, it's just to help you get jump started into developing that habit, drawing every day or scheduling time to draw. And for me, the best time to draw hardcore and to film it is on the weekends. I have very few distractions, especially now, and it's nice and quiet, and I'm not on the bus, so I can actually show you how I'm developing it. And then sometimes I just let my mind wander. I'll start the image, and then the story will start to appear to me, and then from there I would just go ahead and try to follow that inspiration. Sometimes if the picture's too intricate or time consuming, or it's easy to lose that spark, that drive to keep going, especially if you're not interested. If it's a subject that if it doesn't interest me, I don't know if I'll be able to keep your interest, you know. And so I like doing commissions for people when I have a lot of freedom. Like I'll be given like some source images and stuff like that, and they tell me just go for it. I like those kind of clients. But when it's super rigid, images are too tiny, you know, you start to kind of, I don't want to say lose it, but it helps to have, I think my pictures come out a lot better when I am interested in what I'm drawing. When I'm really super motivated with the image that's coming out. Let's see, I want to use a little bit of brown. I'm going to use this chocolate color from Arteza. It may be a little too dark for what I want to do. So I'm going to keep my white nearby so I can lighten up anything that it may be too dark. Again, I'm going to use the side of the marker and not directly onto it. I don't want too much to flow at once. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the places where I think it's going to be darkest. Like even that might be a little too much that just came out. And go ahead and start placing my shadows. I do the base tone, the shadows, and if it's too dark I go over it with white, and that gives me a different color of brown. I also like going over it with a peach tone. Let me see if I can find my color that is dried out. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Where is it? It might be at the bottom of my thingy. Okay, let's see. When the colors are wet, it's easier to blend. I should have used this brown instead. Where is it? There's another white. Let's see. Okay. That's brown. Let me see how my blender would work. Let's see. This here is a Zig Fabricolor blender. So let's see if it works on this. Oh yeah, I like that. And I'm using it to kind of merge the two colors together, get them to blend a little bit, lighten up a little bit. I got to be very careful that it's not too wet, because when it's too wet it becomes like a little blob. And I don't want a blob on here, just like a blob of color. Like right here you can tell it's going to become a blob of color, so I need to move away. I dropped my my backing down a little bit, and I think I'm going to throw some white on here just to lighten it up a bit. Just to lighten up that brown. I might hit it just a little bit right here. And I want that light that's right here. And it kind of gives her a little bit more roundness. It's going to be a bit of a highlight here, a bit of a highlight here. Just shake this up a little bit. And I'll go over the zig a little bit more. And just blend it outwards. And I'm lightly touching the color here. I want that white to blend in a little bit. Like I want it to be light, but I want it to be her kind of light. I don't want it to be like completely white. Like an off-white, I guess. There we go. There are times when I like that the flow of this is really slow, and then there's other times when I like it when it's I need it to come out and start doing its thing. Okay. Now on the tulip fabric markers, this color right here is like a flesh tone, so I'm going to use that as a mid-tone for the shadows and whatnot, just to kind of blend between the base tone and the skin tone, a mid-shadow of some sort. Okay, and then I want to kind of tie in this light tone with this tone here. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of brown. This is from the tulip fabric marker. And this is considered, I guess, the fine tip. But it's more of a bullet tip. They do have fatter markers, but I prefer these. Yes, I can get well, a lot of the time I'm not coloring large sections of things with this marker. Okay, let's see if I can blend in a little bit more. And it's also important to let it dry a little bit so you can see what's happening with your colors. I want that to really grind in. Let me see if I can find one of my dry markers. Hey, Deep Kim. This is not a bad color. This is also similar to a flesh tone. There we go. Let's see. One of these is the dry one. Where are you? Aha. Let's see, there's my other two flesh tones. So while that is drying just a little bit, just add a little color to her lips. Maybe a little to her face. And I'll have to bring that in a little bit. Where's my, I think this was it, yeah. Okay, here we go. See, I want it a little darker right here. Let me try this one and see what this does for us. This here is a graffiti fabric marker. It's the Uchida, Marvi Uchida fabric marker. Sometimes they just go by Marvi fabric markers. And they're pretty good too. They blend really well with tulips and with themselves. Going down a little bit. Let me let that dry just a smidge. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. Play with her hands here. Bring a little bit more color right here. And maybe a little brown for her area under her nose, because that's a deep shadow. Well, not a deep shadow, but it's a dark shadow. There we go. So when I want to color, like for shadows, or I would use the side of the marker, like if I'm trying to get a large area. But if I'm trying to do strands and things like that, I'd use the marker like straight up and down. And whenever I color, I try to think in terms of roundness. That there's going to be an area where light is going to hit it to give it roundness, and then where is the shadow going to be. I keep those things in mind when I'm coloring. And it's funny, I never used to color my pictures. I would always color in black and white, and I always saw the tones. I just went through like a period of, what was it, that I don't know what to color things, and I think all of us start, you know, I don't think we always start at that area, but I think we evolve to that area where we don't know to color things. When we were a kid, we'd pull out the crayons and we'd just go for broke. Every color in the crayon box was going on that picture because we love color. Everybody, well, a lot of people love color. And as a kid, I really liked color. But as I got older, and sometimes all I had was a number 2 pencil, I would just use that. There we go. The white kind of pops out, so if I have like a white, I need to have a corresponding dark. So let me pull out one of my darker browns. Coffee is the darkest brown that is in the Arteza permanent fabric marker set. And I'm not getting any money from any of these companies. I did kind of sign up for the Arteza thing. I was hoping that would kind of give me a discount, but I'm too lazy to follow through. But I know that Leilani Joy is doing it. But I also use the things that I would endorse. This is one of the things I would endorse. This, Crayola colored pencils, Crayola products. I would endorse those. I'm not getting paid by them, but I would support using it. A lot of artists put down the Crayola products, or they'll do a challenge. I don't know how much money they'd put towards these things, but they would do a challenge and then not use the stuff ever again. From, you know, they'll go back to their Prismacolors or their other things, and that's their prerogative. But if I'm going to do a review, I'm not going to just do one picture. I'm going to do a lot of pictures. I bought this product so I don't have to be biased. I'm not going to use the same colors that I see on the little girl, but let's see. I want her to be dull, but I want her to be bright because, you know, she's otherworldly. Let me go ahead and get this acorn going. Let's see. If the shadows are going to be going this way, then we'll have the same shadows play here. Not that I'm trying to knock anybody. It's just that I'm going to use these bad boys. I paid good money for these bad boys. And I'll be using them with other markers. And I seem to be getting some really good results, so I'm not going to complain at all. I'm going to throw a little hint of yellow on her. Just a hint. And that's going to be playing off of this. We'll make this yellow. I mean, how many bad guys do you know wear yellow? So, this is a good girl. Good girl. We'll have a little bit of yellow play on her skin, and then I'll just kind of blend that in. Just a little bit of a reflection from her yellow outfit. I'm just going to follow the curve here. There we go. And that's where that'll end. I'm going to see if I can lighten that up a bit. I'm going to see if I can blend that in just a smidge with the other surrounding tones, just so it's not like coming up yellow cheeks. And then I'll just throw a hint of the other marker on here. Okay, so that's what we've got going on so far. Alright, now for our little bitty fairy here. I'll go ahead and make the leaves green. And oh, have I got lots of greens. The Arteza set comes with a ton of greens, at least 6 greens. Don't know why I need so many greens, but it is what it is. Let's see. I'm going to use a lighter green here for the leaf here. And a darker green. Let's see. I'll put the lighter green around the edges. Came out great for my Sailor Moon Hulk shirt. It turned out really well. Arteza does have a really good product. I have definitely got to give that to them. I really enjoy coloring with the Arteza set. I just wish there were more flesh tones, colors I could use for a flesh tone, but there are a lot of green. I need to stop whining about how much green there is, but oh my gosh, there's a lot of green. So if you're one of those people who love green, this is the set for you. And I wonder if I want to give her green hair. I'll wait. Okay, let's see. Let's color in our little fairy. La 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 la. Wrong brush. I want to use this one now. What I like about these markers is they kind of remind me of like Copics. These right here, these Zig fabric markers. You leave it on, let it dry, it turns a color. You can keep going over it, and it just gets darker and darker, like the Copics do. Copics, however you want to pronounce it. I like calling them Copics, because I are American. Okay. Alright, and I think I want her hair to be just a little bit darker brown. So I'm going to use chocolate and, let's see, chocolate and coffee. Coffee is the darkest color. Use the chisel tip. And I'm just using the tip of the chisel tip. Make it nice and dark. And then I'll use like the edge here to make it just a little darker. Let's see, and then I'll go over it with the chocolate. Alrighty. Okay, so I'll blend that down a little bit. And I think I'll use the blender in the hair just to see what happens. Oh, I love how it blends. It brings the colors into each other. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I have a ton of green and one yellow. Just one. Even in the tulip pack, I at least have two different colors yellow. I have one darker yellow. I have one lemon yellow. These don't have any markings on it. So you'll want to make your own little color chart. There we go. So the yellow that I used on top was the Arteza yellow. And then this one here is the fabric marker, tulip fabric marker yellow. So if you decide to do colors, you know, drawing on your own t-shirts and things like that, I urge you to go ahead and get a couple different packs of fabric markers. They're not all created equal, but when you use them together, you might get some really great results. Let's see. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and do some more with this this leaf here. Let's see. So it's like these are the two different color yellows that I have with my pack of tulip fabric markers. And my one yellow of Arteza. And my 6 colors of green. Oh, let me stop whining about green. Okay, yeah, I'm becoming a broken record with that. I'm going to use a little bit of yellow here, and then I'm going to go over it with another green color. Get another green. Let's see, and I want to make really cute gossamer wings here. I'm just going over it all while it's still kind of wet. While it's wet, it's so much easier to blend. Let's see. Let me do a different color green. Alright, this green here is olive green. I used the lime green. That was the yellower green. And this one here is the turquoise. This is the darker color green that we see here. And this one here is olive green. So let me see if I can get that in here. Merge it in somehow. We'll put the olive down below here. Since it looks like it's a deeper, darker color, olive It's not too bad here. Okay, let's see. Let's see. There's parts of the lady's flesh here that I did not get. Now, flesh tone markers, I also use these with brown, so I can get deeper, darker skin tones with brown. Like black people, or people of color, of darker color, we do have a little bit of peach with us. Like on my hands here, I have peach, and then it goes to like a brown, and like around here, you know, and on my face, where it highlights, where the light is hitting it pretty hard, that would be like I would use the flesh tone, and then around it where it moves away from the light, then I would use like a brown, and then I kind of blend them kind of together, and I get a more harmonious tone. It gives the appearance that it's all brown, but you have different shades of brown that you're playing with. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and try to finish this up. Let's find gossamer colors. Gossamer colors would be kind of like pink, purple, maybe this light blue. So about maybe these three tones. Arteza doesn't have a really good pink. It has a bubblegum pink, which may as well be magenta. So let's see if we'll bring that out too. Let's see. This one here is bubblegum pink, and then this one here is the tulip fabric marker pink. So let's see. We'll put those to the side there. And I'll probably be throwing some, I think I'll be throwing some glitter onto it as soon as I figure out how I want to do like the wing patterns and stuff. I'm thinking I want to do swirls. Let's see. Think. Oh, let's see. I'll have one color lead into the other color, and then it'll be like dark around the edges, but with glitter all around the edges here. So I'll do the black, or the deeper, darker color. Let's see, we'll do that around the edges here. Yeah, I can use the chisel. I don't want to use the chisel. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this, instead of it being black, I'll have it be purple. This is pretty dark. Maybe I'll take the next color, purple. I at least have, I think, 2 color purples in the Arteza set. And don't be afraid to lay on that color. You want to fill in all the white. It'll look a lot more professional, and the colors will last a lot longer the more that you dump on there. But you got to be careful. You don't want to put too much, because if you put too much, it'll bleed outside the lines, and you don't want to do that. You want to get just enough, and then you want to kind of even back off your board if you have a board underneath, and then that way it doesn't bleed across, like it hits the board and then just bleeds out. Yeah, I think when I get ready to put the glitter on, I want to put some on her fingers too, from when she touches when she touches the wings here. These wings are very fragile. And I could probably show that they're thin if I do like a light outline of yellow, as if they're transparent. Now what I do to one thing, I definitely want to do to something else. So like, I don't want this purple to exist by itself. I'm going to put it like in her hair. Yeah, I'll probably put it in her hair. And I'll probably be throwing the green on here somewhere too. Because I want colors to coexist. Now it doesn't hurt to let it dry just a bit to see how the color is looking. But if you're going to blend, you definitely want to do it while it's wet. So lay down a coat or two of the fabric marker, and then add the other color. Or you can alternate between the two colors. So like, I'm going to have like blue right here. Let me do that right now. I'm laying it down really lightly. And then where it's closer to her body, I'm going to make it a little darker. And then I'm going to let it kind of do its thing going outwards. Just do it really super light to where it almost turns white. And then I'm going to add the bubblegum pink. And then let's see, the bubblegum pink will be darker here near the edges, and then going light to the blue. Almost like one of those like not creamsicles, but there's a popsicle that, I forget what it's called. I used to eat them all the time. When the ice cream man was coming. It was usually red, white, and blue, and they would have, I think coconut is the white, strawberry, and like a blueberry on the bottom of that ice cream. So good. Okay, so I'll make it darker here and just let it taper to white. And I'm using the chisel tip. And you see how, like, where it's drying, it's coming out kind of white? I don't want that. I'm going to come back over it with the purple in a bit. Okay. Now I could either leave it just like this, or I'm going to come back in with the pink. Really super light. And just have it just drip a little bit closer to the blue. Just a little. This pink is not necessarily pink. I think it's more of an off color. Not sure. Okay, and let's see, maybe a darker blue to enhance the blue that's there. We'll use the purple instead. Okay, so this color here is Orchid Purple. This is the color I was using around the edges here. And I'm just going to go back through. All the places where white or it's really light. I'll bring her eyebrows down a little bit. Just I want her to be worried. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit of the purple here. Not too much. And I'll just probably use it going down a little bit. And I'll come back over it with the blue. Let me just do a little bit right here. Okay, I'll just come around the edges here and do it so that you guys can see. All right. I like this music. It reminds me of like something like native African music or something like that. It's kind of inspiring. I might want to draw something with natives or animals or animal print. It's just like beautiful. The one thing I can really say honestly is that I love drawing and coloring to music. It's almost as if my my pencil and markers, they just dance across the page or across the fabric, and I start to lose track of time. Especially when I do Zentangle patterns. Those tangle patterns are just, you know, I learn them on the spot and just apply them in my drawings, and the effect that they, even the crappy ones that I do, even they still come out beautiful. I don't know. Let's see. Let's follow the pattern here. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, Alfonso Dunn, his suggestion for surviving Inktober, I wish I would have seen it sooner. But one of the suggestions that he came up with, besides, is like grouping some images together, like some of the prompt words, and or, you know, go off and do your own. You don't have to follow the same prompt. It's just fun to see people's interpretation of what they come up with. And I agree. I've been looking on the internet at different people's, what they came up with. Some of them came up with the same ideas, but with different takes to it. Like with Breakable, they may have came up with a heart, but it's fascinating to see how they depict it. And one of the ones that I've been following, let me see if I can find them. Let's see. I got so many markers and where my mouse is. I'm opening it up right now. Unmask Art, that's what it was. Every day he does a live drawing. He doesn't necessarily draw it on the spot, but he does ink it and color it. So he'll plan a picture in advance. I guess that saves time. And he also, right before, he has a group following. Right before he will show what other people did in their prompt, and how they answered to the prompts. And I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was so awesome. So I got to the point where every day I would tune into either his live stream or whatever he, because he's kind of erratic on when he does it, but at least he tells us when he does it. Unlike some people like myself, who just jumps on and it's just like random, and wonder why there's nobody here. It's no worries though. This wasn't a live stream. I was told by one of my viewers that I need to talk more, so here I am talking more. But yeah, check out Unmask Art as he's doing his deal, and the people who he shows, he calls them the family. Kind of a little Manson-ish, but he's in Poland, so it's no big deal. Real great guy. Sounds just like what's his name, Bob Ross. Well, doesn't sound like him, but he's got a nice soothing voice. So a lot of the time I'll listen to him as he's talking about art, giving advice while he's drawing. I don't know how he does it. Then he goes back to the streams and is able to monitor what people are saying, and then answer any questions and things like that. But yeah, if you like to see some of his and some of the other people's work, and there's a vast following of talent. It's not a competition. Some people make it into one, but it's not. It's not a competition. But it's beautiful to see how people interpret their stuff. Okay, so I'm just about done. I just need to do the coloring of her hair. And then I will convert this to a speed draw for those who didn't have the time to sit through my rambling. Let's see, so I'll just do a little bit of swirls here. Oh, I forgot to add the glitter. Gotta add the glitter. Glam, glam, glam. I think what I want to do is try to get ahead a little bit. I try to get ahead on the weekends because that's when I put out the videos the most, and just go from there. And then I want to do some other stuff, and Inktober is in a sense cramping my style because I really want to do other projects. And some of these things I want to put onto a bag, or I just want to redo them. Especially the one that I have with Nicki Minaj. I want to redo, I might want to redo the songstress one, and I might want to redo the Pretty Death right here. There we go. I want to redo something like this. I think this is badass, but I wanted like in a different pose or something like that. So that is going to be another either a live stream or it'll just be another video all by itself. Okay, so let that dry a little bit. I'm going to pull out some glitter. What did I do with my glitter? Let's see. Aha! Aha! Alright, so I've got like blue here. Okay, so what I'm using is some Elmer's glitter glue. Let's see. I'll use that. I will use another Elmer's glitter glue. It's the for the pink area. And then let's see. Oh, instead of that one, I might use this one because this one is more iridescent. It's really pretty. These guys are like $1 or you know, and I found them at like dollar stores and stuff like that. Especially these guys. I found these at Walmart. They're all under like $2 or $3. I think it's reasonable. Let's see. And I got this iridescent purplish, well, this is ice royal blue. So maybe that might go better like right here. I don't know. Let's see. What else do I have? Bum, bum, bum. Oh, I haven't used this one. This one is confetti glitter. I think this would go better on something that's more yellowish. But I got it on clearance at Michael's, so, you know, just keep an eye out for stuff. You never know where you're going to find a really good deal. Let me see if that looks cute on the hat. And this is actually for fabric. This is dimensional fabric paint. So, cool. Oh, but where she's touching, I think I want to use this iridescent one. So, let's see what we get here. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. And to make it all stay on the shirt, I'm going to use some Mod Podge. And I got that in a little container here. And this is what it is. It's a sealant. It's going to be kind of glossy and fabulous. Let's see. Alright. So, if you're doing art for girls, you might want to ask the girl if it's okay to throw glitter on there. When I do caricatures of people, like kids, I give them the option to put glitter on their, and I have to watch them to make sure they don't over glitter it, because, you know, sometimes glitter does things to people. Sometimes glitter does things to people. And they'll over glitter, and then I won't have any for anybody else. So put a little bit of Mod Podge mixed in with it. Mod Podge will dry clear, and I'll just have a little bit of the pink there. And I'll just dip in a little bit of Mod Podge and just mix that in. Now, if this wasn't a shirt, I would probably be putting like little jewels and stuff on it, but I'll save that for when I do bags. I'll be doing bags probably next month, or when I have some free time. But yeah, this Inktober thing it's a monster. It'll take your time, and it'll eat it up. It'll take time in your brain and start messing with you. Right now, right here I'm caught up, but there's still a lot of others, images here that I need to finish, do some extra tweaking to, and it's okay to go back. I think it's okay. For those of us who have busy lives, sometimes that's all you can do. You want to try to keep up. But you know what? This is not a race. It's a go at your own pace. You have, and anything that takes away from the fun, you know, it's like you're just gonna have to relax the rules on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself should have been one of the things I've heard from, you know, like some of the advice. If I could give anybody advice on doing this challenge, is don't be hard on yourself. It is not easy to make the time out in your busy schedule to incorporate art. It sometimes may be almost damn near impossible to change your schedule to meet the demand. But you know what? If you love, doing things with glitter, doing crafts, you'll find the time for it. You will. A lot of the time that I have to draw is spent when I'm on the bus, so I don't get to show you guys. But I do post it on Instagram, what I do, and I don't get to do it often. But I'll maybe start the image and then post it to Instagram and then finish the image and finish it on YouTube. And sometimes I'll just probably have to finish it on the weekends because time is funny. For me, I would love to do it right after work, but by that time I am spent. It's not an excuse, it's reality. I'm ancient. And my body can only take so much. It'd be different if I had a car. My car died on me, so I am taking the city bus, and I am actually, I'm kind of enjoying it, only because when I draw, and it's almost an ego thing, and I hate to admit it, it's almost an ego thing, where I can kind of show off. Let me have some of this glitter fall down here, and into her hands and onto her fingers. And riding a bus is boring. It's super boring. Some people are crazy, and you get to see them act a fool on a bus. But on the whole, you're just pretty much trying to get to your destination on time and safely. And when you see somebody like me just like whip out something like this, I didn't realize at the time that people were watching me. I mean, some people were hardcore watching me, to the point where if I broke out something completely different, they're like, so what happened to the Nicki Minaj one that you were working on? Or I was working on a bag. I'm like, oh, I finished it and I gave it away. But I've also gotten business from drawing on the bus. So you never know who's watching you. And so it's like, wherever you go, see if you can take your art with you, especially if you have to wait long periods of time. Take a pencil, some paper, and you can doodle, finish up a picture. That's what I've been doing, and it seems to be coming out pretty good. I've done a couple pictures, and I'm really proud of them. So that's another thing, is like, sometimes part of the challenge is to show off your work. Post it somewhere, show it to somebody. And that's one of the ways to do it. It's like maybe drawing in public. If you're good and you want to get people either to follow you or to to watch you. Maybe you're shy and you don't want to draw in public. That's you. But there are places that I would go or had discovered, like when I worked downtown, and I never really got a chance to do this. I used to have an hour's lunch break, and that is insane. I forgot what it was like to have an hour lunch, but my thing is that I wanted to go to where these guys were playing. On Wednesdays they would play classical music, and like, I love listening to some classical music, any music when I'm drawing, except for, I don't know, I've never listened to country while I was drawing. I think I'll try that one day and see what I come up with. But I've listened to heavy metal and fell in love with that, like jam into like Led Zeppelin or Ozzy Osbourne, classic rock stuff. prints, you know, anything that just takes you out of your zone and just like puts you in a whole nother. Anyway, one of my ideas was to go out and hang with them and draw whatever came to my mind on my lunch hour. Okay, this iridescent is too pretty. Okay, let me put this in the water and put my cap on. Yeah, so it's like ignore everybody around you and just enjoy, you know, the ambiance, the things that are, you know, and just draw. I was going to set up an easel and just draw musical notes. Set up an easel and draw the people who were listening to the music. It's a change of you know, where I was. So anyway, I digress. So I am basically done today. Woo woo. I don't usually get to finish. Thank you for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble. I will be drawing again tomorrow, and I'll probably be putting out a live stream probably on Sunday. Usually I'm pretty well rested, and I believe the next one that's coming up is let's see, Drain. And I got an idea for Drain. It's not going to be as pretty as this. It's going to probably just be like a little circle and some eyes looking inside of, you know, like I was going to put like a drain and then have like little eyes looking out of it. So that's one of my fears is being, you know, there's some sort of creature looking up at you while you're taking a shower or something like that. But anyway, here is my contribution. There we go. And eventually some of the Mod Podge will dry and you'll be able to see the picture as is. Again, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe in case you'd like to see more. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments and I will respond. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.